Okay, hello everyone. Hopefully everyone can see my screen.
Yes. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just dive in. So yeah, for pretty much any web API related products where you will need the web API URL, you will need to enter your ACT database's web API URL. In cases where you do not have like a public facing server which has like an SSL certificate or anything like that, in that case the best thing to do would be to install the ACT Connect link, which will give you a URL which is SSL protected, and also will you don't have to do any kind of extra configuration on it, like open firewall ports or anything like that. This should make the whole process very easy. So that would be recommended, and that should be a default option, I believe, in the ACT installer as well nowadays. But in case it isn't, it can be very easily downloaded from the website. So the best thing to do is simply just go on Google and just search up the download for ACT Connect link. So that's what I'm just typing, download ACT Connect link, and it should be the first link from the act.com website. I'm going to click on that. So here, there's usually an update now link. I would recommend not using that and using the full downloads at the bottom. So you can see there's an install ACT Connect link option for V18 and 19, and one for V20 and later. I'm assuming most people now are going to be on V20 and later, so I would recommend clicking that. So I'm just going to download that. I believe I already have it downloaded. I'm just going to run. Actually, I guess not, so we'll just download it again quickly. Okay, just hit run. So while that is going on, it's also a good idea to update your ACT API, especially if you're using an older version like V20 or 21. You're probably on an older version of the API, which probably has a lot of issues, so I would recommend hitting that as well before you start testing HHC. So I'm just gonna go on the download page for that, and let me actually run this installer quickly. So okay, so the link for the web API is act.com/download. Do that, which is the usual link for downloading the latest version of ACT. As you can see, the Windows and Web Plan download links are here. But if you scroll down, there's the ACT Premium Web API. You just hit download and run it. It's pretty straightforward. Nothing. You don't need to do anything other than just running it, and it will install the Web API, which I already have installed. So I'm not going to go through that again, but I will show you setting up the ACT Connect link. So just hit accept on the license agreement and hit install, and it should be that simple. Like I said, not much to configure or anything like that. We'll just kind of let it do its thing. And by the way, one thing I forgot to mention, before you do this, make sure ACT is closed. So just a quick reminder, just kind of let it install. Okay, I'm just gonna install a couple things. Couple more seconds here and should be done soon. So while this is going on, the other thing to mention is if you're using the web API with a user that is not an administrator, it's important to check the permissions. So make sure the user that you're using with the web API has the web API permission. So you can check that by going into the Manage User section in ACT. And granting them access. Otherwise, you'll get authentication errors. And I'll show you that permission once we launch ACT here. So it looks like it's almost done. Okay, there we go. Hit finish. And all you pretty much have to do is just launch Act. I know it was already running, but now you should see there is an option for Act Connect in the left-hand navigation bar. And if you click on it, at the very top, you will see there's a little bar at the top that shows your Act Connect URL. So you can just click on the link to copy it to your clipboard, and then you can paste it into the HAC API settings and type in your database name and credentials, and it should work. If for some reason you want to test to make sure everything is working, you can also just paste it in your browser. If you're using Act for Web, then you can just enter in the URL, and then it will take you to a web page that looks like the Act Web API page. But because I'm using Act for Windows, nothing will show up here. So another kind of a trick to just double check, make sure everything's working, is take the URL that you get and type in /API/system, and then when you hit enter, you'll see your API version, the Act SDK version, and things like that. So if you see that, then that means everything's working. And it's also a good way to see, make sure you're on the latest API, because if you run into issues, our support staff may ask, which version of the API you're on. So you can quickly just enter in this address in your browser and get the version information here. And if you're out of date, like I said, just download the web API, which is act.com/downloads, and run that. So a lot of the times when updates happen, you do not have to update the connect link. The connect link can stay the same. You just have to update the web API installer. Okay. Any questions so far on the installation?
Remember to unmute yourself if you have a question.
I had a question on which machines does the Act Connect link need to be installed on? Is it just the server? Is it the workstation for the HHC API user?
It ideally should be on the server. So like I said, if the server is on the cloud or whatever, then the hosting provider will provide that. If it is a self-hosted client, then yeah, they will just install it on the server. It is recommended you not install it on workstations, multiple workstations having multiple Act Connect links, because there's an issue with them changing the URL in the database settings. So it should only be installed on one central database, which is usually the server. So.
And it was news to me that Act Connect link and the web API could be on the same server, but I guess they have to be. Okay.
Well, that was going to be my question. I thought if you're self-hosted and you're web accessing, that you don't run Act Connect on the same machine.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, if you're self-hosted and you're using Act for Web, that we've been told not to install Act Connect on the server.
Or AMA.
Yep.
I am not actually aware of that.
It's
usually.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so usually if I know that it's recommended not installing Act Connect link if you have the web API service installed. If you're using Act for Web, yeah, in that case, it is not recommended. But if you don't have access to that, then you can install the web API and the Act Connect link at the same time, which is usually on Act for Windows. You do have to do that.
So what do we do in a self-hosted using Act for Web? What is, did I hear that it's not possible to do this?
Act for Web, if you have the option, I would recommend using just the standard web API, and which is hosted through IIS if you can, if you have a SSL certificate. If not, then your only option would be to use the Act Connect link.
So awesome. If you have a customer that has Act for Web installed, but doesn't have SSL and is not using AMA, then you could still do the Act Connect on the server.
Yep, you can do that, and it should work. Like I said, if you do have Act for Web, you can just type in the URL in the browser, and when you press enter, it will take you to the Web API page, and you'll see it working.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, so let me just quickly show you the permissions that I was talking about. So you go to Tools, Manage Users. I'll open up a standard user here. Hit Next, and if you scroll down, there's the Web API access permission. So make sure your users that are going to be accessing HSC, they are granted this or are administrators, otherwise they won't be able to log in. Make sure that permission is added. Okay. And usually there are no issues with the installation, but I have in some cases seen where Act Connect Link does not work. And in almost all cases, usually just an uninstall and reinstall is required. So if you do run into anything like that, just uninstall and reinstall, and you should be fine. And to kind of check on the service settings, you can go on to your start menu and type in Act Connect Link and run it. Okay, and it should launch the Act Connect Link tool. You have the access to your logs, and also if you click on Manage, you'll see the URL that I was talking about. As well, if for some reason you don't see the menu option under Act, you can always come here, copy this URL, and just type in /act.web.api at the end. And that's also another way of getting your Web API URL. Okay. And that should be it. It's fairly straightforward. Any other questions so far? Vic, anything in the chat?
I'm just checking the question portion here.
Austin, how did you get to that dialog box?
Yep, so I'll close it. So you go to your Windows Start menu, just search for Connect Link. So I'll just type Connect, and you can see the Act Connect Link is there at the top. And it's usually installed under the C drive in the Act Connect Link folder, if you want to get to it that way.
And Karen, was your question answered that you posted? Okay, Karen said to confirm, you update Web API to latest version regardless of what Act version you're running.
Yeah, so it should be, it doesn't matter what version of Act you're on. You can install the latest version of the Web API from the website, which is act.com/downloads. And it's not going to make any schema changes or anything like that to the database. So it is recommended you update that as soon as you see a new version posted. So again, I'll go to act.com/download. And it should be at the bottom, with the version number as well. So currently it's 1.1.54.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah, Austin, it's Shannon again. When we update the Web API, or if it's already installed, will installing it update it? Because I don't see it in Control Panel to uninstall it.
Yeah, you should be able to just overwrite it. And I believe in most cases you can even run an old installer. So just let's say a new version comes out and it breaks something, we may ask you to downgrade. So if you go into your File Explorer under the C drive, usually there is an update Act Web API folder, which has all the old versions. So that's another kind of way to download or install the old version. So if you want to install, let's say, 0.4 or 8, you can just open it up and just run the bat file there.
That was
And
totally worth watching the training for. Thank you.
Hey, Shannon,
Yep.
I see the Act Connect link and add remove programs.
No, the Act Web API.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Thanks, Austin.
welcome.
All right, any other questions?
Yeah,
Not?
I just
Oh, go ahead.
I just ran the API, downloaded and ran it. Is this where does it show up on my system?
I'm sorry, where does the web API show up on your system?
Yeah, how you I downloaded the Act Premium Web API. I downloaded that.
Oh, go ahead.
And then ran it. How do you know where it is? Or you look at it from there?
Yeah, so usually it's under the usual Act folder under program files. There should now be act.web.api subfolder. So that's kind of where the files get downloaded. So if you see that, usually it's an indicator you have it installed, even if you don't see it in the control panel. And once you install Connect Link, like I said, you just add the /API/system to the end of the URL, and when you go there, it'll give you the.
So I can't keep up with you, but I'm sorry.
Okay, so do you have any questions like still about the location?
Yeah, it's not much to say. API. Okay. Yeah, I found the location in the program files. I found that.
Okay, maybe this is if you need assistance finding it, that maybe we take this offline, Kevin, with Austin later on.
Whatever.
Yep.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
If you're finished with that topic. If you upgrade Act on a machine to a newer version, do you have to do anything with Connect Link or, with the URL change if you upgrade Act?
In most cases, I don't believe the URL changes, but it is a good idea to just double check. So again, just go into the Act Connect link on the left and make sure that the URL is the same. And I've seen is that when you install the new version, it does update the API on its own. So you don't have to update the web API. It will do that for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Austin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Vic. It's Shannon again. If you covered it, I just missed it. Is there a way to check what version of Web API you have on besides looking, or do you just look at the folders and what was downloaded and assume that's what your version was?
Yep. So like I was saying here, so once
Okay.
you get the link, no problem. Just add this line here /API/system to your URL, and it will give you your API version, your SDK version, and some of the other settings on the system.
Okay, perfect.
Does it also show in the app that you can pull up when you look in Windows search?
So yeah, Jason. So the app actually doesn't. I believe. Are you talking about just the web page that shows up usually?
No, the app that you pulled up when you searched for.
That was the Act Connect link.
Right.
Yeah, the Act Connect.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I think it's just the Act Connect link version, which right now is .13. Yeah, yeah, this is probably the most reliable way of checking your web API version. Is this web page?
All right. If there's no further questions, thank you very much, Austin. And this has been recorded, so we will post it in probably Slack or in probably in Slack. I'll ask Ken where we're going to put it. So you'll see it shortly. So thank you very much, Austin. That was fantastic. And everybody, have a great day.
Great. Thank you.
Welcome. Take care.